Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and happy Halloween, and welcome back to SpeedForce Racing. My name is JB, and I'll be taking you through tonight's proceedings, but also not on my own, because I managed to drag him here, tie him up, once again. Hello, AJ.
Hello, man. How you doing?
I'm alright. I'm feeling so much better than I was last week, because honestly, I've spent like 5 days of actually being ill. I could not talk. I was very ill. As shown by Saturday's stream, I was coughing and spluttering all the way through it, and that was enjoyable.
Yeah, that's not good. No, I've stopped coughing as well, which is good as well.
See, he infected me after I tied him up. See, it's to and fro. I tie him up, and then he infects me. It's the worst. Anyway, shall we go through tonight's, as everyone's getting ready to ready up, shall we just go through tonight's Drivers' Championship, shall we? As I look at my pad. T. Jonas, miraculously, after having 2 weeks of not here, is still in the lead of the championship, and so he's ahead now of Lee Nell in the Toro Rosso, so Lee's going for the championship this year. Then there's Diaboosh in P3, and Gaming Things in P4. Icebolt in P5, and Widelow Billy in P6. I remember numbers. In P7 is Fredo, then there's Matey Boy in P8, after a good performance of a win last week. Farfborough is in P9, and Smelly Badger is in P10. The Devil's Armpit is in P11, and the Pirate is in P12. Get ready for the puns with that one. Invader Zippo is in P13. He's running a new helmet and a new number tonight. And Blood and Sands is in P14. Sig is in P15, and Racing Poultry, who's not here tonight, is in P16. Jade Rios no longer races with us. C. Pasley is supposed to be here tonight. I hope that he is here tonight, so we're getting ready to go. Mikey is racing with us as well, and Alsan are still yet to score points. So, yes, it's getting very interesting tonight. Jade is no longer racing with us, so we welcome Spark Bobster, or Sparky as I like to call him. You know him rather well, don't you, AJ?
Yeah, sorry, taking a drink there. Yeah, no, Spark Racing's with us as well, in my league. So yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see what he can do tonight. And yeah, hopefully it's a good showing from him.
It definitely will be an interesting showing. And yes, I've just loaded up the chat, and yes, Mr. Betley is here, and that nickname is staying. I am never going to change that nickname. Thank you for reminding me, Zippo. And yes, for once, Havlar, I am not ill. I know it's a shock. Everyone can start. Well, I might be a bit sniffly because I got a runny nose, but that's about it. No, I'm going to cough now. That's the worst bit. Oh, there's yours.
Well, I'm just clean my. It's like a half cough.
Yeah, I think that's what I've got right now. God, I hate Britain. Honestly, it's the stupidest country in the world. We're always sick.
Yeah.
So, Canada, love or hate, AJ? Love or hate? Oh!
Oh, that's very tasty.
Love or hate now?
I have a love-hate relationship with it. Yeah, no, I think if you have corners where you go from being very slow and not getting any momentum to going very quick and getting all the momentum and going a couple of seconds quicker. So if you can find the right lines through all the corners and just get up, and there's no reason why you couldn't get close to pole around here, definitely.
Canada is as close as Formula 1 gets to going around an oval circuit. Well, now at least as we're watching C. Pasley get released in the Haas pit lane, but he is not the first driver on track. There's another driver who came out ahead of him. We'll try and pick who that was. Who is it? I think it's a Williams. No, it's T. Jonas in the Sauber. So the championship leader is out on track. But yes, so it's as close as we get to an oval track in Formula 1, which begs the question, do you reckon F1 should go around the full Indianapolis circuit?
Oh, well, I don't know. I think the last time they did that, there was a mass freak-out when they had the Michelin and the Bridgestone tyres, if you remember. I can't remember what year it was. It was like 2006 or something like that, 2005.
Yeah, that was 2005, the infamous 2005 Grand Prix, which everyone remembers for many different reasons.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'd say considering those tyres were probably harder than the tyres we've got now, I don't know whether they would last the full Grand Prix, especially with the way that they have the track diamond cut into the long lines that they do to keep it kind of grippy or not grippy. I can't remember why they do it, but yeah, I don't know whether it works.
They do it to take off because it's obviously so uneven when they do it. When they put it down, because it's asphalt, not tarmac. As we're watching T. Jonas come round, so it's obviously got collections of stone as well as the normal bitumen in it. Why am I nerding out over tarmac in the middle of a Grand Prix qualifying?
Yeah, no, I saw a video on it the other day, which was.
You saw that video too? The one on Autosport.
Totally. Yeah.
Oh my god, we have got some serious talks.
There you go.
I just
right. Who's getting for a lap? Let's concentrate on the.
Yes, T. Jonas is on a lap, but he's had a pretty dire first sector, lots of wheel spin, but still able to take it rather well. Yes, we're back to being SpeedForce raining, which is something I haven't had to say since about season 1. Yeah, obviously this hairpin round here, much like Suzuka, you can take multiple different lines to this hairpin, but you really want to take a pretty simple one, much like T. Jonas has just there. But careful not to spin it up like T. Jonas also has right there.
Yeah, you want the differential on minimum for this track, because the fact that there's so many quick bends, but there's so many slow ones as well that you have to punish the tyres coming out of the corners. So yeah, diff down to minimum, and then you want to be very easy on the throttle. The fact that you can get it all out of shape, especially coming through that section where T. Jonas was, through the wall of champions, you can get it all sorts of wrong through there.
And it's an invalidated lap for T. Jonas, so the opening lap for us goes to C. Pasley with a 1:20.2. So in the wet, that's a pretty good lap.
Yeah, no, I'd be pretty happy with something like that. Start just setting a 1:21.8 or 1.6 seconds off the pace.
But Smelly Badger, wow! Where's he found that second? Oh, Pasley. He's retired from the session in Sector 2, so that might be a crash. Trying to see who's in Sector 2 now, so we can find out. I'm on board with Farfborough, who's... Oh. This track is great fun. It's a hybrid street and permanent circuit, and I find that great, how half the track... It's much like Melbourne, actually, with that. Where's Mikey? Here's Mikey just finishing his lap now, and that puts him at an invalidated lap. So.
Yeah, it's great because the fact that you can stay off the walls, but on this track to get the maximum amount of speed and momentum through the corners, you want to get as close to the walls as you can for pretty much every corner. And so that's why it is such a challenge for the drivers. Maybe not so as Monaco, but you have to really concentrate around here to get the most out of every corner.
Yes, Monaco last week was, well, it was Monaco, let's say that. Actually, that's a question. How did you enjoy your first time racing in SpeedForce at Monaco?
Yeah, that was an amazing show for me. I think, yeah, coming home from work, being quite tired, doing one stream commentating is the best recipe for success. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It's always nice to be behind the wheel. I love driving any track, and Monaco's especially challenging. So yeah, it was good fun. I enjoyed it.
So in all of our little conversations, Farfborough has gone faster to 1:18.8. So these conditions, it seems like the rain's starting to ease up just a little bit, so the drivers are able just to control the cars a little bit more. But obviously, with it being a dry race, everyone's on their dry setups, and that's when, you know, you're thinking, oh, I've got to do this in dry setups, have I?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I use my dry setups in the wet just so that when it comes to the dry race, I can pretty much just go and don't need to worry about running too much wing or anything like that. But also you can see the dry line starting to form. There's just a line in the middle of the track, which is I think giving the drivers a bit more grip through the slower corners and just like kind of speeding them up a bit more. But also with the fact that you're running in semi-wet conditions on the inters, it means they can just run lap after lap. So if you don't have a good time one lap, then you can just keep going. And so the invalidation, because of the fact that it's a street wet circuit, doesn't matter as much at the minute. So it gives them more chance to get out of jail.
It definitely does. And hello to everyone who's watching the stream. Hello to Huggable Panda, to everyone who's joined us, and some of the Prem drivers that have joined us to have us see how this is. Hopefully, this qualifying weather clears up for your race. I'm just watching Diaboosh come through the Wall of Champions. Everyone loves that wall. Though, you know what? Apparently, next year they're taking out the Wall of Champions and taking out the entire chicane because they're doing a remodel of the paddock.
Oh, well, that'll be interesting. I quite like the World Champions. It's a kind of like you can go all the way around the lap, and you get to the last corner, and it's a kind of make or break. Like the rest of the track doesn't factor in as much, because if you get the last corner wrong, then you've got to start all over again.
Definitely, and it's obviously you saw most noticeably Rosberg straight lining that chicane, spinning at that chicane when he attempted to who was he fighting? It wasn't Hamilton, was it? It was Ricciardo, wasn't it? Back in 2014.
Yeah, I mean, Montoya did a very similar thing, I think, back in 2003, 2004, somewhere around there. But it's a very tricky chicane to get right. You can lose it on the outside in the World Champions, like Schumacher's done in the past, or you can take too much curve and spin it on the inside. So very tricky.
So, with 10 minutes left to go in the session, I just want to draw our attention down to just Mikey in the McLaren pits. He's got the hypers on his car.
That's a very interesting call.
He must be praying as we see yellow flags. I want to assume that's someone getting it wrong at the at the World Champions. But also another big, I won't say issue, another big thing with this track is the pit lane, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. No, I've run way too many times, especially on the league race that we had. But yeah, especially under wet conditions, if it's wet, it's very difficult to get under that speed limit pit limiter because it's so slow compared to how quick you're coming down the back straight.
It is, but also the bit is, if someone ahead of you is going into the pit lane, you expect them to turn into the chicane and brake more, then you're in trouble. But also, the driver braking for the pit lane, you've got to be aware of what you're doing. So my advice to all drivers, Prem or not Prem, is to stay left. Is stay as far left as you can, even though that's during the racing line. Just stay as left as you can, and then go for and then just pray that no one rear ends you.
Yeah, it's a bit like Austria, where the racing line kind of folds over the pit line, so that you both get to the same bit of track. Yeah, I saw that from T. Jonas.
Yeah.
The edge of that, to get as close to the walls as possible.
In that case, he got too close there, just kissing it a little bit too much. Let's keep our eye out for when Invader Zippo comes out on track, because you know what, we're going to do a heads-up display lap with him tonight. Make him feel the pressure.
Fair enough. I mean, these guys are starting to think the dry tyre might be the tyre of choice. I mean, it's stopped raining now. There's still a bit of spray on the track, but it looks like it is drying out ever so slowly.
It is, and I think with 8 minutes to go, we will see the dry tyres play a part later on. Just as we were watching T. Jonas after that big mistake, I don't think it'll be an improvement. No, it was 8 tenths off. But the championship leader, he's down in 10th place right now. Obviously, bearing in mind half the drivers haven't set a lap time yet. In that situation, you're thinking, okay, what's he going to do? He's championship leader. He hasn't been here for 2 weeks. He's been watching, though, for 2 weeks. So he knows what people have been up to for 2 weeks. Well, as your championship leader as well in the other league. How do you approach this race, your return?
I think it is quite difficult. I had to do it in season 2 of my league. I think you've just got to bide your time and be patient. And I think it can be a blessing and a curse, the psychology that you have when you're coming back from missing a race or two, because the fact that you're not concentrating on winning, you just want a kind of top 5 or the best you can do, and you're not as set on just ploughing and getting through as many drivers as possible and overtaking as much as possible. Don't take more time over your overtakes and make sure that you're not sacrificing as many points as possible.
So Icebot on his initial lap goes for a 1:19.7, which puts him into P5. So the man who I think has had about 28 hours straight without sleeping. Sounds like when I used to try and do a World of Warcraft run, But then there's Alsan, who's just gone for a P6 run of a 119.8. So you see the times, obviously these would be about, what, 107s if it was during the day? During the dry?
I don't know, 107, then 108. Then 108. But yeah, I'd say the inters were about 8 to 10 seconds slow, somewhere around there.
It definitely is, and it's clear now that the track is getting drier. See, that's the issue with commentary. We're looking at it as we're watching Farfborough just getting it a little bit wrong. He's on provisional pole position right now with 5 minutes left to go to the session. He's, no he isn't, because Smelly Badger's gone, you know what, I'll take that, and look at the times tumble.
Yeah, 118.4 from Smelly Badger. But I'm just watching T. Jonas at the minute getting a bit out of shape coming out of the corners. It means that the tyres are starting to overheat, especially the rear ones. So it might be a case that they're just not getting enough grip anymore, and it will be very short time before they're out on the kind of qualifying tyres, the dry tyres.
Would you risk it right now to go out on the dry tyres? You know what? I'm going to hold my hands up and say I would right now. I would, because look, here goes Billy who had to cross the line. Don't know about his lap. He's done a 124, even though it was invalid. He did a 124. I think it's time.
Yeah. I mean, I think the inters are starting to become the slower tyre now. But I think quite a lot of them will probably wait right until the end of the session, get as dry as possible before you do your lap, so that you've got the best chance of getting as far up the grid as possible.
It definitely is. So, with 5 minutes left to go to the session, the grid currently stands as this. Smelly Badger on provisional pole position ahead of Farfborough, ahead of this man, SFR Lee Nell. Then Gamey Things in P4 and Icebolt in P5. Alsan in P6 and Diaboosh in P7. See Pasley in P8, though he's crashed, he might tumble down, is in P8. Then there's Sigurd in P9 and Matey Boy rounding up the top 10. Outside the top 10, though, we have Spark Bobster, Blood and Sands, T. Jonas, Billy, Zippo, Armpit, and Mikey, who have not set a lap yet. I surprised myself with saying the word armpit, not the Devils.
So Sparks on his out lap, he's just put it in the wall. He hasn't retired. He's still going. He hasn't lost any wheels, but he's lost a bit of his front wing there, so he's going to probably have to pit and change for another set of tyres. But that just shows you how wet it still is, considering he's just spun out of that corner.
Yeah, he's the only driver out on these tyres right now. Diaboosh has braved it again on the intermediates. It's right on that very awkward moment, isn't it, between the wets and the dries, and it can't decide which it wants to be, can it? Yeah,
it's getting to the crossover point, but I think everybody will be checking their deltas in the pit lane. They'll be seeing which one the delta thinks is faster, and I'm sure that time will be coming down between them now. It's very close.
It definitely will be. I'm sat here in the commentary box, stroking my beard in all seriousness, sitting here going, I wonder who will be on pole position. In my wise old, very
like a wise owl.
Yes, I am a wise owl. Stroking my beard with my long feathers, punching my microphone as well. Having one of those days today. I'll tell you what, when you wake up to your brother cooking bacon at 11 o'clock in the morning and blasting out some club tunes, and you've had like 0 hours of sleep, you're gonna have a bad day.
Yeah. You don't sell it to me, do you, mate? Lying in until 11 o'clock.
No, I don't, to be fair, but you know, I'm on holiday right now, so... So Diaboosh has just started his lap again. We're going to go away from him, though, because we've been nosing at that Ferrari for much too long, and they've just lost the Drivers' Championship, so we don't want to, poke them a bit. On board with just Mikey now, who aborted his chance of going on the Hypersoft tyres and gone for the intermediate tyres. I'll tell you what, Zippo's still just teasing us there. We're getting close to the time when you need to come out either on intermediates or dry tyres to set a lap time.
Matey Boy is on the ultra soft, but you can see how much he's struggling.
Oh yeah,
he's just got to be,
definitely.
Just got to be so gentle on that throttle with these tyres. Shifting up gears early just to make sure that the tyres definitely don't spin. Keep that diff right down, just to make sure that nothing will put them out.
Yeah, the 58 car seems to be definitely struggling right there. Look at it. It's going around as slowly as a McLaren Honda would.
1 minute
That's it.
37 seconds left in the session, and it looks like everybody's coming back out on the inters again.
Not someone. Look who he is. It's Zippo. He's gone for them. He's gone for the super soft tyres. Running his new helmet and his new number 34 on the car.
Yeah, Linnell, who's in 4th currently, has come out on the ultra soft as well, so he obviously thinks it's time to step up. But Alton Senegal, they're just completely lost it in the wall, and he's out the session.
Oh dear, lots of drivers biting the bullet now, and I tell you what, Zippo is on the best tyres, because obviously in these conditions you want to go for the hardest tyres possible. So we are going to do a heads-up display lap with the Toro Rosso of Invader Zippo, just so we can have a dose of his new helmet.
Yeah, you definitely want the harder tyres. It means that they take less time to, well, they probably take more time to warm up, but they run at a lower operating temperature than the ultra soft or the hyper soft would.
All right then. I'll hand you over to AJ for the heads-up display lap, because he always does it so much better than me.
So you're coming through the last chicane there, just missing the wall of champions, and running all the way down the main straight. You're going to get up to close to 180 miles an hour down here, a little bit slower because of the fact that it's so wet. You want to clip both of these curbs on the way through, be so patient, and coming through the corner, and Zippo's just, oh, he's just taking it round. Maybe he'll have another go. Go on.
Oh, sending another car into a spin is Zippo, and the heads-up display lap will be aborted, because that's it of qualifying here in Canada. And right now on provisional pole position is Smelly Badger. Wild Billy is in P3 and Farper is in P2, but right now we can't tell because everyone is going for it on whatever tyres they're on. Here's Linnell, the other Toro Rosso, going very wide, but I don't think that's going to be quicker right now. This is turning into a wild qualifying session. No, Linnell's retired, so he's aborted his lap.
Yeah.
Here's Daibush, he's got Linnell Snow! Oh! That almost went very bad there.
I don't know why Linnell hasn't ghosted.
I think that was just in that midpoint where the car was just still AI'd for a moment of them taking control, but that was brutal. So Daibush has done... I'll tell you what though, Daibush, all these drivers that have done it on intermediate tyres, they've got free choice, haven't they?
Yeah, that's going to be the best part for the race. They can start on the hardest tyre and then be quicker towards the end of the race, or they can have a brand new, fresh set of the option tyre, the softer tyre.
Still looking for his first pole position is Daibush, the Welshman in the Ferrari, pushing his absolute hardest towards the wall of champions. No, he's retired. That's P5 for it, and Smelly Badger is on pole position for the first time in SpeedForce. I think in SpeedForce history. Do apologise if it's not, but that's it. Look at that. So that's a result for the Renault team, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And it's a very, very mixed up grid. It'll be very interesting to see what happens during the race. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
It definitely will be. And to be fair, I don't remember how many laps there are in this race, because I've only just got here in my career mode today, so you know. On the plus side, I worked out what that ridiculous Chinese sponsor on the front of the Ferrari is, and I've never been able to read for like the past God knows how long they've had it.
WeChat.
Yeah.
WeChat. Yeah. Social media.
As social media, is it in China? Is it China or is it Japanese? I think it's China, isn't it?
Yeah, so China have their own social media because the fact that they're cut off by the firewall, the Great Firewall of China. Have you heard about that?
I have, but we'll discuss it more in a moment, because Smelly Badger's on pole position ahead of Farfbret in P2 and Wild Billy in P3, then Linnell in P4 and Daibush in P5, Gaming Things in P6 and Icebolt in P7, Alsan in P8 and T. John's Championship leader in P9. C. Pasley rounds up the top 10 even after crashing qualifying. We'll go through the rest in a moment. But yeah, I first learned about that when Guy Martin went over to China.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's in their native. It's written in their native logo. So WeChat actually has a logo over here, and they have the app over here. But it is originated in China because of the fact that they didn't have Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. So that is their main social media platform for like messaging and doing pretty much exactly what Facebook does. But yeah, that's what it is. It's cool, isn't it?
That's very interesting. See, he's well travelled here. Well travelled, Mr. Bentley is.
I work in marketing. You've got to know about the Chinese platform.
He says that. Mr. Bentley's the one who's marketing Mr. Bentley. Anyway, as I'm having too much fun saying the word Mr. Bentley. But yeah, have you seen Guy Martin's got another series coming out? Well, not another series, another thing coming out this Sunday.
Oh, cool.
He's returning to trying to get his van to be the world's fastest van. You know, he failed it last time.
Oh, right.
I can't remember how he failed it. I need to watch the DVD again. But he's doing it again. So, you know, I'd give them a plug, but, you know, I'm not interested. So, here we go. Smelly Badger leading us away on P1 ahead of Farfborough in P2. P3 is Billy in the Williams, and P4 is Linnell in the Toro Rosso. Then there's a Ferrari of Diabush in P5, and Gamey Things in his Force India in P6. That seems to be a favourite number, P6. Icebolt in P7 ahead of Alsan, who's the leading Alfa Romeo in P8, and his teammate is in P9. C. Pasley is the highest placed Haas in P10, and then there's Spark Bobster in P11, a good showing for his first race. Well, second race. Sigurd is in P12 ahead of Matey Boy in P13. Blood and Sand is in P14, and Just Mikey is in P15. The Devil's Armpit is in P16 ahead of Invader Zippo, who took a risk and bottled it in qualifying in earlier. Then there's here we go. You're good at pronouncing names. Down in the Williams in P18. Blasmuk in P18, and go on.
Val to P Power.
We shall know you as Bal Power, because Bal Power sounds like a brilliant name. Bal Power is in P19. I hope he doesn't get annoyed at me for that. Yeah, lots of drivers. Here's we go. Billy deciding to line up. He wants to be lining up first, but you see Badger and Farfborough in line of stern together. Oh, this is going to be very interesting on the start. Has anyone gone for the Hypersoft tyres? Shall we just quickly check? No! Lots of people going for the red soft tyres.
Yeah, definitely. No, I think Super Soft will be the best tyre to start on. I can't remember. Did it go Hypersoft? Does it go soft? Is it Hypersoft?
Hypersoft, Ultra Soft, Super Soft.
Okay, cool. So yeah,
so there we go.
So Ultra Soft, it'll probably be a one-stop for quite a lot of them. But yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
Okie dokie, as the green flag is waved, everyone's in position here at the circuit. Gilles Villeneuve, named after Gilles Villeneuve himself, the Canadian Ferrari driver who sadly died sometime. Here we go to 5 red lights, lights out, and the drivers are away now, and it's a good start from Farfborough. Wheel spin from the Renault, and that seems that Farfborough takes it off the line. There's Diabush trying to get up there alongside the Williams. He's straight-lined, almost straight-lined. That and lots of carbon fibre coming off ahead of everyone else. So Farfborough leads us away ahead of Smelly Badger and Linnell, and lots of... Oh, there's a Williams in the wall! Wide low Billy is in the wall. I don't know what happened there. Looks like he tangled with someone. AJ, have you seen anything interesting?
Yeah, I think that was Diabush that he tangled with. Yeah, they were alongside each other coming out of turn 2, and I think just got a bit close for comfort and just turned them round. I might be wrong, it might have been gamey, but
big battle here between Diabush and the Mercedes of Icebolt, but yellow flags warning for Blasmak, and he's got a 5-second stop and go penalty, and it seems that Diabush is racing hell for leather tonight, but Sigurd is down there too with the teammate of Diabush, and look at it, they're all going absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I've got to say Farfborough with an excellent getaway, just timing that acceleration perfect, and just almost beating Smelly Badger to the first corner completely as he just went all the way around the outside of him. Beautiful move.
Looking now, big changes across the field right now. Blood and Sands is going for Bal Power, his side-by-side into the final chicane, but Bal Power goes straight on. And here we go. And there's a Williams as well making a mistake. I think that was Billy. Yeah, Billy, it seems to have made a mistake and ended up cutting the chicane. But looked at lots of drivers taking it to the pit lane. Here is Sigurd also going into pit lane on lap 1. So lots of drivers suffering in the first lap. Obviously, going from wet to dry conditions has cost them a little bit of time.
Yeah, Zippo doing very well up 6 positions this race so far. From all the way from back in, I think, 17th it was, all the way up to 11th. So he could be in with a shot at some points here.
He definitely could be, and the man who was feeling rather unwell earlier when he messaged me is hopefully going to get some good points. You see Blood and Sands and Mikey having a good battle, and it seems that Mikey's just pulled ahead of Blood and Sands. Blood and Sand is letting people through though. I'm not sure what he's doing.
Yeah, there's a gathering of about 5 or 6 drivers all in a line, about less than a second between them. It should be a very interesting fight when they all get DRS off each other and the double slipstreams will come into effect.
Definitely will be, because obviously now onto this lap, DRS is now enabled on lap 3. 3 DRS zones here in Canada, and we'll be seeing them in action later. This is the closest battle on track between Gaming Things, Diabush and Icebolt in the Mercedes, and you see they're all pushing like absolute madmen to try and continue on with this race. So you see Blood and Sand has pulled into pit lane for a messy broken front wing.
Yeah, Diabush getting very close to the back of Gaming Things. Just got it right through those first couple of corners. And now he's just looking, he's just being
he's in the wall!
A bit wide there, just lucky, keeps his front wing together, but just trying not to get frustrated, trying to just keep on the back of him and force him into a mistake.
It definitely is, too. And the thing is, though, these guys are all on the same tyres. They've just been through DRS zone number 1. And no real change there except for Diabush hitting the wall, but he's going wide and Icebolt's trying to capitalise on that, but there is no gap there, and it's cost Icebolt a lot of time by accelerating on that curb. Here we go, DRS zone 2, and look at the power difference between the Ferrari and the Force India. Force India pulling to the inside early to try and defend from him. They're going to brake hard into the chicane, but Diabush is there long before him. He pulls ahead of him, and that's the advantage of the DRS down that straight. You can just pull in front of someone and then brake for the chicane.
Yeah, further back, Alton Senegal having a look at T. Jonas, the current championship leader, and Matey Boy just having a look at Alton Senegal as well. Those 4 getting very close, all within a second of each other.
Keeping your eyes on a lot of people. There's Zippo in the background going, I want to play too, let me get involved. Alton Senegal getting very close to the wall. The Dutch driver's going to be in trouble from Matey Boy as he drives down the inside. There's a gap there. He's taken it, and he's taken it very well, but he's involved. It opened up to Zippo. Zippo pulls down the inside and says, you know what, I'll have that position instead if you couldn't take it, and he's going to have a try at the Sauber as well. And he's there. He's still going around the outside. Senegal cuts the corner to try and stay ahead, and that position has been handed back pretty forcefully after a wheel bang.
Yeah, Zippo seemed to come off the best there. He seemed to be able to just slalom his way through between Matey Boy and Alton Senegal. He comes away with two places more up the grid.
Tell you what, the big thing is though, Zippo has swapped from wheel to controller tonight, down to not having yeah, Gamey's in the pit lane. What's happened there? Has he just collided with the wall? We know that Gamey unfortunately had an issue when he did a race around here that I commentated on, but Invader Zippo is coming under pressure from Matey Boy. Matey Boy down the inside, Danny Rick style dive bomb, cuts the corner to try and stay along the inside. Remember, that corner is tight, so you've got to not try and dive bomb there as much as everyone has been trying.
New front wing for Gamey, so that means he must have had contact with whoever he's fighting. I think he's up with Di and Icebolt.
Definitely was. So, on board sector 1, yellow flags. That Spark Bobster is out of the race. Here's the Devil's Armpit, and oh, that's a big collision. And that has cost Spark Bobster the race, and that, he's going to be frustrated about that, the German driver.
Yeah, I think he's gone through turns 3 and 4, and maybe just overcooked it slightly, or just ended up going into the wall on one of the other sides of the track, and yeah, wheel come off, and it's hanging off by its tether.
Well, hopefully with the next update we'll be seeing safety cars more than virtual safety cars, but we will not have a virtual safety car either. What have you seen?
Glaz MK going up the inside of Alton Senegal, late break to forever. He went straight on at the hairpin, and now he's having another go down the main straight, but that was a massive overcook.
Tell you what, Senegal's pushing the limits of yeah, I was going to say, Alsan is pushing the limits of one move, isn't he? There.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that'll be looked at, I think, because that was one move to the inside that he pulled across to the outside and started squeezing, and someone pulled alongside him. But still, a little bit fast into pit lane, and that will be punished, obviously, due to the stewards.
Yep.
Anywho, so lap 6 here out of 35, so not as much as Monaco, but a fair few. As you see them pushing hard, so the closest battle on track is up here with Icebolt and Diabush for P4, and Lee now comfortably in P5, 5 seconds behind Smelly Badger.
Yeah, after Gamey pit as well, Zippo's up into 8th place, so he's doing very well this race.
He's having a good time himself, but Blood and Sands is now trying to close out the Bal Power, but that's not happening yet. Tell you what, Bal Power sounds like it should be a sponsor on one of these cars, doesn't it? DRS open on the Mercedes with Ice Bolt as he tries to close up behind the Ferrari of Diabush. I'm trying to remember which one of these cars took victory in 2018 around Canada, I think. You know, who was it actually? Oh, Diabush though gets all out of shape. Here comes Ice Bolt, aiming to go round and down the inside at this tricky little downhill chicane, and he makes it work absolutely beautifully. And Diabush is going to be ruining that little mistake he made there.
Yeah, definitely. Nice little move. But I believe, if I'm correct, it was Hamilton.
That sounds true. Rilo Billy is the fastest man on track as DRS is open on the Ferrari. Ferrari trying to use all of its Italian might to pass Ice Bolt. He's turned into a dummy, but he sent him right into the crowd. Goes Diabush, taking the correct line though. It's admirable to him, taking the correct line back onto the track.
Yeah, just going straight on that corner. Obviously didn't think that he could brake hard enough, and now he's under pressure.
Oh, Pasley's hit him. He's hit him just a bit, just a little kiss.
Yeah, wing, but it is very, very tight. Yeah.
I've just received a message from Spark Bobster in the Spark chat, in the stream chat. It's pretty self-explanatory, and we can tell how he's feeling from it, as it simply says "idiot." So either that's down to himself making a mistake, or a crash involving someone else.
Yeah.
See, that's what we like about Spark. He doesn't pull any punches. But here comes Matey Boy trying to close up. Oh, lot of lag off Matey Boy there. Do apologise for that. I think that may have been my end, just affecting the stream. So I'll turn the internet off on my phone. Matey Boy dropping back by a second. Here comes Pasley. Apparently it was someone else. So send that into the stewards, mate, and we'll have a nose at that. But still, see Pasley has got his eyes lined up on Diabush. He wants to make a move now. It seems Diabush's super soft tyres are either overheating or suffering a bit.
Yeah, it's absolutely possible.
Whoa, what was that?
Yeah, just up to the inside. It is a temperature sensitive track, so we will have to watch the rear tyres from some of those corners.
Definitely will do. And I'll tell you what, the ERS situation on the Haas is not looking brilliant as he's derating right now because he's running out. But still, Matey Boy is trying to go round the outside. He's managed to dummy it round. He's going round down the inside of Invader Zippo. Is Zippo going to fight back? No, he doesn't. The little cartoon alien driving that car does not fight back as much as he would wish he'd be able to. That just seems that he got knocked out of rhythm by the Mercedes driver. But he's going to come back. The little cartoon alien driving that Toro Rosso. I hope he finds this as funny as I am.
Matey Boy just seemed to go a bit deep into turn 4. I could have him back through turn 6, but just holds off.
See that he was straddling the racing line and the inside line there, which is enough to frustrate a driver. Essentially driving it in the middle of a corner is frustrating for all the drivers trying to follow and trying to pass. You just don't give them an inch, and it's often what most drivers do. Most notably Max Verstappen does it rather well. But here comes Zippo. Is he going to go for a Danny Rick dive bomb? He does not. Using his Honda power for all it's worth to try and pass the Mercedes. But right now, Farfborough is still our leader, ahead of Smelly Badger and Lienel in P3, Icebot in P4, and Diabush in P5, Pasley in P6, then T-John is in P7, Matey Boy is in P8, and here is Zippo in P9. Not for long, though, because Zippo's looking at going down the inside, but it isn't worth it. And then just Mikey is in P10. The Devil's Armpit is P11, and Blasmark is in P12. Gaming Fingers is in P13. What's his name? Widelow Billy is in P14. Blood and Sands is in P15. Bal Power, I will keep calling you that because it's awesome, is in P16. Alsan is in P17, and Sigurd is the last driver in P18. Spark Bolster, unfortunately, is a driver that we have lost only in the first 10 laps of this Grand Prix. Oh, I can breathe again. How quickly do you want to go through it? Well, you see, as Blad's getting passed by Gaming Things just seems to be driving very well to be able to pass drivers very quickly. But have a look down at Alsan, the driver we poked about earlier. He's now closing up to the Renault of Bal Power. Bal Power stepping in last minute for Racing Podge, who is unfortunately not with us tonight.
Just Mikey going up the outside of Zippo. Zippo is defending the inside line there and making the Toro Rosso as wide as possible through those few corners, through the hairpin. But now, just Mikey will have DRS down the straight. Let's see if he can catch up to Zippo. Zippo again holding the inside line, defending for all his might. Gives him enough room to get through, but Zippo breaking late is making Mikey a bit frustrated here.
Blasmak has got a 5-second stop and go penalty for gaining a place under and not handing it back by cutting a corner. That is unfortunate. Blood and Sands also getting a 5-second stop and go penalty for ignoring yellow flags. These are all looked at by the stewards if the drivers believe it was unfair. I'm not sure. It looked like Billy made a mistake at the corner where Diabush made a mistake, so it seems that that penalties are being handed out quite harshly by the in-game stewards.
Yeah.
So DRS open on this McLaren as he tries to line up Toro Rosso, but you see that Honda power just flying away. Now you feel silly, don't you, McLaren? Oh, he's almost got it wrong though, hasn't he? Still. Gonna keep our eyes though. Here comes the championship leader of T. Jonas. He's gonna have DRS on Pasley. Pasley seems to be making an unfortunate little move there. What's happening here? Yellow flags in sector 1 though. Not sure what's happening there either, as Blasmak has left for session. Okay. Pasley getting a stop-go penalty. Let's have a look at him. He's left for session on track, so that will be a penalty no matter what. He has not retired the car, so that is going to ghost around and annoy a lot of drivers.
Yeah, Pasley holding T. Jonas up just for a little bit before he makes his way into the pit lane. But yeah, you can't go full speed like that into the pit lane. You're going to end up holding the drivers behind you up. So the best way of confronting that is to just pull over to the left as much as possible and see whether you can't hold the driver up that much.
From one Sauber to another, here's Alsan Senegal trying to make it past Bao Power. He's down the inside and Bao cuts him off straight over the nose of the Sauber, and you see him stomping on the brakes going, that's not fair. Well, it was, but you know. Just a bit rude. See me shouting on the microphone. You can tell my voice is back, can't you? See, AJ had the unfortunate matter of listening to my stream on Saturday nights. Again, if you wanna know about that stream, send me a message and I'll send you the stream. I won't say it on this stream. And I was coughing and spluttering through it. I was awful that week, wasn't I?
Yeah, no, not the greatest, but kudos that you still managed to do it. It's not an easy job.
I only choked twice, and that, you know, I choke normally.
Oh, lovely.
So you see Billy trying to close up the Blood and Sands pulling away, but it seems that most drivers are starting to get pretty far away as Blasmark rejoins in P18, so that was a lag out issue then. But still, see the Williams of Billy still trying to load up and trying to get close to him, but he's not managing to do it so far. He just can't get past that Red Bull. That Red Bull's starting to get very annoying. You see the little wings on the back from the Aston Martin thing. Red Bull definitely gave them wings. Well, Aston Martin did first. Sector 3 yellow flags. I'm not sure who that is at all. We will have a look in a minute. But right now, it's Billy and Blood and Sands on stream. And Billy is trying to find a way. He's knocked Blood and Sands right out of rhythm. DRS open on the Williams. He's not using the slipstream. He thinks he's got enough power on his own. He's going down the inside of the Red Bull. And he's managed to do it.
Cutting the corner a little bit on the way out. But yeah, lovely move from Billy there. Not needing to use the slipstream. He's got enough DRS and lovely little dive bomb in his back pocket. But Blood and Sand now coming back at him down the main straight. He now has DRS and a lovely slipstream. As well, Billy just going off track a little bit.
Here we go, Sands trying to go round the... Wow, that was an aggressive move. He forced the issue. He said, I want to go this way. Oh, and that's why. That's what you don't want to happen. If someone's coming into the pit lane, you don't want that to happen. And Blood and Sands, knowing or sort of sensing danger, he stamped on the brakes and was able to stay out of the rear end of the Williams.
Yeah, definitely. No, he definitely found the gap down that back straight, very close to the wall and very close to his tyres as well, to Billy's tyres.
So Invader Zippo once again under pressure. You see Blasmas has retired from the session. We thank Blasmas for retiring in the pit lane. So that is a DNF on there. So no more Ghost shining around to annoy people. Invader Zippo, as Smelly Badger pulls into the pit lane, the race, the initial pole sitter has pulled into pit lane, but Invader Zippo is now under pressure from Mikey, and it seems that Zippo just is able to control him. He's got the right setup for this track, hasn't he?
Yeah, no, I remember doing a few races on controller just after I got my wheel, and it just doesn't feel right anymore. You feel like you should be steering a steering wheel, and you're just throwing the car around with a little joystick. So yeah, getting back used to that is a very weird feeling indeed.
Definitely is, and obviously as a controller user myself, I haven't yet. Well, I have jumped between wheel and controller before because my father has a wheel, but I don't have the room in my bedroom for one, so I'm not able to use it when I am racing. In the rare occasion I am racing, which brings me on to something I'm going to plug in a minute. See that seamlessly planning here at SpeedForce Racing. I just see Farfbro pulls into the pit lane, and that will make Lienel the race leader once everything changes. So here comes Matey Boy though, coming down the inside, which has actually turned into the outside of. Oh, he's crashed! Oh, big accident there! As you see, Matey Boy. Oh, I don't know what happened there at all. I'm going to look at my little replay there, and there's a. Oh, I need to look at this. AJ, take us through what you're seeing.
Yeah, T. Jonas just went straight into the pit lane, so maybe they were alongside each other and just didn't get enough room.
Oh, I can confirm what happened.
What happened?
Right. There's a little gap in the barrier where the marshals would stand, and that little that's happened again. What's happened is that his left front tire has clipped that barrier or clipped that gap, and that has thrown him into T. Jonas, and Jonas is going to be so angry. But I tell you what, it's an act of God there, isn't it? Because he couldn't do anything.
Yeah, no, it's really irritating. It's just one of those little moments that unfortunately, yeah, you just get too close to the wall and end up doing something like that.
In fact, I did that in Monaco in my career mode earlier, and that was really annoying. I will not admit that I use flashbacks, but it happens that I had a TARDIS with me. Just time for me to plug something, because we have 5 minutes to talk about it. Next week is the start of the SpeedForce Racing Classic League, the return of Season 3 of the Classic League. That will not be streamed, it will be pre-recorded, and it will be uploaded the day after or the Thursday, one of the 2 days. I myself will be racing, and then it will be recorded. I will be doing a voiceover of it later. I will seamlessly open my phone and find the track list. And remind ourselves, I know the first race of the season next week will be the 2006 Renault around Bahrain, which will be an interesting race nonetheless.
What day is that on?
Pardon?
What day is it on?
Tuesday. Tuesday's the initial race, but Wednesday or Thursday is the day of the recording will be uploaded.
Cool. There you go. Just to make sure you covered everything.
See, I will eventually. Smelly Badger going round the outside of Diaboosh, kissing wheels, much like they would in NASCAR. But Smelly Badger in this Renault is going, no way, Ferrari. I'm going to try and get past you. He's got his eyes on it. He's just pitted. He's got his DRS open on the Renault. Yellow wings open, fighting the red. I can't think what yellow and red make. Orange, and that's further down the field. But here we go, trying to go round the outside into the chicane, 2x2. And you see Diaboosh has just conceded a position. But it's going to be who comes out worse. And you see a little weave there from Smelly Badger. Is that a thank you or you know what? I'm going to try and defend from you. And Diaboosh is going, nah, you know what? Cut the corner.
Oh, Smelly Badger going very wide into T1.
I mean, that was down to Diaboosh pressuring him into T1 actually, there, mate.
Yeah, a lot of pressure under him and not giving that position up easily. He always loves to defend as much as he can. He will never let an opportunity like that just slide over.
In answer to your question, Spark Bobster, your helmet is currently in the paint shop. I said I'd make a helmet for him, and I've been ill. There, I've been ill. That'll do. That'll do. So to speak, they've all lapped Balpower actually in all of this, as Blood and Sands has retired from the session in Sector 1. Oh dear. So Sector 1, and right now our leader is Lee Nell, and he is still looking for his first win in this league. In GP2 he's looking for it, but right now today is going to get very difficult because there is Farfbra in P2 in the Red Bull. So Big Boy versus the Sixth team. You see Lee now sliding through that corner, has opened it up. Here comes Farfbra. He wants to make it past him. He's on the fresh super soft tyres. Yellow flags are waving, so he can't move. Green flags are waving now, so he can overtake as he lines up a move, and Lee now locking up as he's trying to defend. And oh, Lee's been pressured into a spin. Oh, where's that gone? Lee is still here though. And Farfbra.
Yeah, just losing a bit. But yeah, Blood and Sand, obviously just, I don't know whether it's collision with someone else, but he lost it exactly where Sparks did earlier.
So it seems lots of troubles happening here. It might be down to, oh, big slide there, big snap of oversteer from the McLaren. See, now I'm getting McLaren and Williams mixed up. I've got no hope. I've got no hope, honestly. Lap 19 and a 35 here as I attempt to remember what Formula 1 cars look like. Here is Invader Zippo closing up to the Devil's Armpit in the Ferrari, a car who we haven't seen much this race, unfortunately. Normally, we're used to seeing the Armpit.
The Armpit just seeming to go a little bit slow through these corners. Can Zippo find a way past him? He's looking up the inside at the minute. Can he late brake? He can't.
Ooh.
He's being pushed very tight. Has he come off better? Yeah, he has. He's got that position back from him.
The Ferrari not giving him an inch of room there, will he?
Yeah, definitely. No, a very tight move there. But he still has DRS going down this main straight and into the chicane. Handles the chicane pretty well. And he should make that move, make that position stick now.
So that was the last of the battles as they start to die out in this stage of the race. We have 16 laps of racing left for the racing to return to its earlier form. And now we're entering that part of the race where normally we talk absolute rubbish about racing cars.
Yeah, well, we've got plenty of time to do it.
We definitely have. And the first thing I'm going to bring up and put on our little table in the commentary box, I know you can't see it because your helmet's already shoved over your head, is Lewis winning his 5th championship at the weekend.
Yeah, why not? Oh, his ice bolt goes straight into the back of SFR, Lee Nell into the pits. Yeah, no, awesome result. I'm really happy about it. Mercedes were absolutely nowhere in Mexico at the weekend. Due to, yeah, I think they're just turning the engine down and not having good enough tyre wear. But yeah, well proud of Lewis to get his 5th World Championship. He's got two years more on his contract. Let's see if he can go for 7. I'd love that.
Tell you what, it'd be interesting, and you got to think now. He always said that he never wanted to. He was never going to aim to go for 7. You think now it's a possibility. He's got to be sat there going, "I could do this."
Yeah, I mean, I remember his conversation that he had with Jensen. I think it was this season actually, during the Britain race or just before the Britain race, and Jensen was saying to him, "Just do a season, and then if you don't know whether you're enjoying it or not, and you think you want to retire, then do another one." So maybe that's what he's thinking about doing. Maybe if he's not enjoying it next season, then that's his season after to consider whether he's going to retire, and then he'll think about doing it. But in that time, he could have matched Michael. So
yeah, I think the big person who's going to be considering retiring more is in the other camp, over with Sebastian.
I don't know. I think I
have to hold you there, mate, as we're looking at one Ferrari going round the outside of the Sauber, and see Boosh just making it past T-John's. T-John's almost aggressively pulling into the slipstream and almost making a similar mistake to earlier. I see Pasley gets passed by Lee Nell into the park bay. People who haven't pitted or the early stoppers are starting to get passed by the later stoppers. So we're going to have to pause our little conversation and continue it on in a bit because Ice Bolt has just passed Gaming Things.
Yeah, Gaming Things on 17 lap old tyres. He's waiting to pit pretty much now and go on to the ultra soft tyres, but Dyboosh and T. Jonas are about to come straight past him on brand new ultra soft tyres.
Look at that! Look at that!
Yeah, it just shows the amount of grip that you have on those kind of tyres, doesn't it? Just being able to surge around the outside. And Gamey Things couldn't do a lot about that move.
Definitely couldn't. The Ferrari just sat there in its big red torpedo-esque move. You see, just
yeah, it just shows that these tyres go off at some point. And ooh, as T. John's hit the wall, and I think Gamey's just left that a little bit too late to go onto the quicker tyres at the end.
He has, or he might not do. He might pit this lap because Pasley's pit this lap for another set of ultra softs. See, there he goes. Yep, is he actually going to make it and not get a penalty? It'd be interesting because so many drivers will still have penalties.
Yeah, it seems to. He seems to have made it without penalties, but yeah, that's something I'm definitely going to watch in the next session.
Yes, I believe you're actually getting strapped in. Have you been told what car you're in tonight?
I'm in the Force India, apparently.
Ah, so you're taking Sparks' car, or you're going to take Gamey's?
Well, I don't know yet. Probably Gamey's. He's doing a little bit better.
So obviously later, if you wish to join us for the Prem stream, it'll be on straight after this, and the Premier drivers will be rocketing around this track, much like the GP2 drivers are now. But GP2 giving us as good a show as Prem can hope to give us.
Yeah, no, I always love commentating on GP2. It is very close racing between quite a lot of the guys. So it is very much fun to watch.
Here comes Invader Zippo trying to get past his old nemesis, just Mikey, side by side into the hairpin, and slipping right up the inside is Zippo, and he's just flying away with it. Has he just pitted? Yes, he has. He's on good, fresh tyres, but so is Mikey.
Yeah, Zippo having a very good race all the way up to 7th. He started from near the back of the grid. So, yeah, doing very well.
Iceball is now the fastest man on track, but sector 1, there's a great big yellow flag, and I think that's a spinner that has been removed, or we haven't seen much evidence of the blue flag song coming out, so I won't make AJ sing it with me. As the Devil's Armpit pulls into the pit lane, Ferrari seem to be struggling a bit this race, and Red Bull and the Renault powered car seem to be having a fantastic time. Sorry. Spark has just sent me another message, and this does involve a soft swear word. He decided to say, "Sod off, AJ. My car's only missing one wheel."
Oh well.
The advantage is Gamey thinks there's all 4, so.
Yeah, exactly. I can still make a 3-wheeled car fast. It's all good.
Robin Reliant right there. Or Ryan Reliant, sorry.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten. I'm hungry. I tell you what would be nice right now, a pink wafer. Oh look, I'm looking at one right now. Here's Gamey Things. How smooth was that, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
See Pasley trying to defend from Gamey. See Pasley pulling to the inside, outside now, trying to defend, and Gamey just slipping up the inside. Calm as you like there from the Force India driver, but Pasley cut the corner and starting to gain back some time, but not enough to pass Gamey Things. Or is it? No, he's gone for the dive bomb and he's hit Gamey Things, sending him into a spin, doing his best impression of Sebastian Vettel.
Yeah, that was totally Seb Vettel there, wasn't it? Hitting the rear end of the Force India with the front end of the Haas, and the car just pirouetting on its front tyres.
See, I did miss it that Seb didn't decide to do that in Mexico.
Oh man, I just loved it so much when every race he just did that. I mean, my fist just went in the air. I'm not gonna lie.
To be fair, right, I do feel sorry for Seb in Hockenheim, just looking back on it. Though his reaction was pointedly hilarious, but when he crashed, but at the same time, I feel really sorry for him because he'd done nothing wrong, and that's just the gods going meh, just off the track.
No, it was a bit of a toddler tantrum on his steering wheel, but
I will not argue. His helmet looked fantastic, though.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things. I think it's very difficult to get something like that right. It's wet conditions and you're on dry tyres. It's very difficult to know where the grip is.
It definitely was, and it sucked. But Arslan Senegal is out of this race, deciding enough's enough, and that is unfortunate for the Sauber driver. But still, the other Sauber driver is T. Jonas, and he's still within a shout of some good points tonight, but he's got his eyes on, as you see, is that what I think it was? It's the blue flag song, ladies and gentlemen, on Invader Zippo's live stream as Matey Boy has left. You see the blue flag songs being sung as everyone gets out, as Battle Power gets out of the way. So I have too much fun saying the words blue flag song.
Yeah, it seems like Mikey's getting very frustrated behind Invader Zippo. He just can't seem to find a way past him at the minute. They're both similar pace and on exactly the same tyre strategy, but he's just having a bit of trouble getting past Zippo at the minute. Zippo's doing well to keep him behind him.
He needs that brief moment where Zippo makes a mistake, and I don't know if it's coming or not. I don't think Zippo will make a mistake at this point. The Toro Rosso driver, but look at the run he had there. It just needs a longer straight for Mikey's slipstream to click in.
Yeah, totally. It just seems like Zippo's got him beaten up all ends at the minute. He seems to be able to just defend from him. He seems to be able to pull away from him on the straights. He seems to have his ERS charged, and he's obviously running a rich fuel mix down the straight to make sure that the DRS isn't as effective as it could be.
I want to say now the chewing gum coloured Hypersoft tyres are out on one Ferrari, and that's the Devil's Armpit, deciding that he's going to have a try of running those tyres. He's going to try them for quite a while, actually. I think he pitted on lap 25, 26, one of the two. And look at that, he's going to try and run them to the end of the race. That is difficult to run them for more than really 7 laps, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It'll be interesting to see how far he can get and whether he does gain any positions by doing that. But he obviously thinks that that's the quickest strategy, so yeah, let's see where he ends up.
I've just been informed by my mother that she's that she's ordering McDonald's for my brother and her, and yet I don't get it because I'm up on commentary doing my work. So once again, drivers are reminded, do not talk in the chat when racing is going on. Out of respect to all drivers that are still racing, even if you're out of the race, do not do it. If you are going to talk to someone, do it in personal message in DM, because it's just out of respect to the drivers who are currently still racing. Here's the Devil's Armpit, who's able to close up to Pasley in one sector, but then seems to lose it later on. And that's probably why, running on the grass quite a bit.
Yeah, wide load Billy in 12th has just changed to the Hypersoft tyres as well. Let's see if he can catch up that time back to the Devil's Armpit. 7 seconds.
Once again, got our eyes on Mikey, and you see, look at that, Zippo's just absolutely flown away on the straights, and that is Honda power right now. Power of dreams! Honda was going to come good, and then McLaren dropped them, so he decided to get good. So
yeah,
they really...
Like it's a good spited engine, isn't it? Where
it is.
Honda just laugh in the face because of the fact that they moved to Renault and they're still bad.
I think, to be fair, I think last year's car wasn't bad on McLaren's part. I think it was the engine, but this year's car is their car's fault, not the Renault engines. As proven by the fact that, well, look, they've got a few wins up at the Red Bull team, but their own car is struggling too.
Yeah, I think they've got a lot of work to do at McLaren to get back on track to where they were before.
Still, Lando's in the team next year, so...
Yeah, it just doesn't seem to be the same outfit that it is now, that it used to be. But maybe they just need to get another contract with Mercedes, see if they can get another power unit from them.
But would Mercedes give them the thing? Because Williams have got that, but their aerodynamics is shocking.
Yeah, it's very true.
But anyway, on board with a McLaren that possibly could be making an overtake now, is within 2/10, is Mikey. This is finally going to be his chance. He's thinking, I can finally do this. He's right up down the inside. He's trying to. I apologise because I've just got a notification again. I still forget to send him off. DRS open once more on Mikey's car. He's got his eyes on Zippo's back end, and he just hasn't. No, he's run out of straight, isn't he?
Yeah, Zippo just got that brake bias, the brake pressure turned all the way up to mean that he can brake as late as he wants to in the final couple of corners. And yeah, that late braking is what's keeping him ahead at the minute.
The Devil's Armpit trying to go round the outside, and a big clunk there of... oh, I tell you what. Pasley clunked him into turn 1, and then Armpit clunked him back into turn 2, and that is, I think the term is, he gave as good as he got. So that probably won't be investigated by the stewards because they've just looked at it and they'll just go, you know, no real damage. But you see, these two, Zippo and Mikey, are starting to close up to T. Jonas in P6. So more points on the card if they get close.
Yeah, Invader Zippo on 3 laps younger tyres than T. Jonas, so it'll be interesting whether he can get anywhere near T. Jonas.
Look at Sigurd as well. Well, he's just pitted. He's a lap down. So if he overtakes, he's going to cause a big upset for these guys. There's no rule against him overtaking. There really isn't. He can overtake as long as he can back up that overtake, as long as he can fly away. And right now he can, but he's going to be disturbing his teammate, and that's going to be the worst position, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. You don't want to, especially when your teammates on the points, you don't want to kind of cause them any issues. But yeah, he will get right in the way of that battle for 7th position, or maybe even 6th position at the minute.
You see, they're all closing up. The Devil's Armpit has passed. Where's? The Devil's Armpit has been passed by Billy. Sorry, as I was trying to work out what happened there, and I think that's just the result of the tyres deciding to stop working on the Ferrari, or possibly a spin. But I think it's the tyres most likely, because those tyres on the Hypersoft tyres are starting to struggle quite a bit. Zippo round the outside of T. Jonas. He's muscled his way through, and T is just going to be able to sit there. And that is it. I think Ultra Soft tyres are starting to run off now on the Sauber.
Mikey having a look as well, but he can't seem to get past T. Jonas. But Invader Zippo doing very well this race, up to 6th position.
T. Jonas hoping to carry on his charge after only one win this season in the opening round. He's not going to get a win tonight because we're on lap 32 out of 35, and Farfborough is putting a stamp on everyone, going, hey, I'm still here and I am going to go for this win. Wido Billy has been disqualified.
Yeah, I saw that.
Wido Billy has been disqualified from the session. I think that was parked in a dangerous location. That will be looked at by the stewards straight away, because you don't do that. If you're bored of racing, you don't just park in a random position.
I think it might have been too many penalties. I think it said something about received too many penalties. Received multiple penalties or something like that.
If you could have a nose at that, actually, while I just commentate over just Mikey pulling to the outside, trying to get past T. Jonas, and T. Jonas is falling. He's falling down the order, but you see Mikey is still able to stay there, but he's so much closer now on the back of the Sauber. The Sauber trying to defend, pushing him towards the pit wall, and you see that McLaren down the inside of Sauber. Sauber cutting back across, going, no, I'm staying in P7, yells Havlar in the Sauber, and he is not wanting to let that go at all.
Yeah, Sparks just commented in the chat, and he said it was multiple warnings that came up on the screen.
So it must have been too many penalties in that. To be honest, that won't be looked at by the stewards, because that's just it. You had too many penalties, you push too hard, cut the corner too many times, that's it.
Yeah.
But still, lap 34 out of 35. Where is Farfborough? Coming through sector 1 now. So he's on the penultimate lap. He's 12 seconds ahead of Smelly. And Smelly is 8 seconds ahead of Lee, who's 4 seconds ahead of Icebolt, who is, I don't want to go into all of that because it's too much effort. T. Jonas is sat in the middle of the road trying to... Yeah, well, I don't know. He can't close up to Zipper. I think his tyres have just had enough on the Sauber, and he's wanting to push. But I think P7 on your return to racing after 2 weeks out is admirable, don't you?
Yeah, definitely. No, it is very good to start off a bit slower, and then you'll work your way more to the front as you go on. But yeah, it's not a bad showing. Definitely 18 laps on these ultra soft tyres now. Just looking to kind of shut up shop for the rest of the race and hopefully not let just Mikey pass. But he's going to have a look at Zippo, see whether he can get that 6th position back, but I think Zippo might have that in the bag now.
It'll be interesting to see on penalties as well.
Yeah, definitely. No, there's some penalties to be added from this race, definitely, because it is very tight and twisty.
Obviously, the big incident that happened earlier in the race was Matey Boy and this man, T. Jonas, but that won't be investigated because I've seen what's happened and I've already deemed it's okay. Well, okay-ish. It was, well, it might be investigated, I don't know. I think the drivers will have a look. But here comes Just Mikey once more. Younger tyres on the McLaren as he pulls to the outside. Got his eyes on the prize, and the prize is P7, and he's passed him. But T. Jonas is not going to give it up, and he pulls back down the inside. Look at that!
Yeah, T. Jonas just making the most of Mikey's indecisions to go through the corner there, and just making sure that he holds on to that P8 for one more lap. But Mikey's going to have another chance down the back straight again. Let's see if we can get him.
Well, right now, we're on board with Farfborough. It's been a pretty faultless race since lap 1. He's coming through the chicane now. Next to the Wall of Champions, he can take it as easy as he wants. It's Red Bull's day and it's Farfborough's day. His eyes on the prize, and his prize is P1, and that's P1 for Farfborough. And a good race, nonetheless.
Yeah, definitely. Nearly a 15-second deficit between him and Smelly Badger. And that was all from the first lap of the first corner of the first lap, and yeah, very good result from him.
And a podium for Lienel, his first of the season. Well, I believe his first of the season. I do apologise if it's not. And look at that, a brilliant showing for him ahead of the Ferrari guys.
It's Icebolt who got it in the end. Icebolt beat.
Oh, did he? Oh, Lee's going to be so frustrated now. Yeah, so Icebolt's on the podium today, so he's having a good time. T. Jonas is able to hold off Mikey and goes for P8. Sorry, Mikey though jumps up to P6 after Zippo and T. Jonas's penalties are applied. Gaming Things in P9, Pasley in P10, Devil's Armpit in P11, and there is Farfborough going to sit on board with him.
Oh, and after all that, Invader Zippo getting those 2 positions, giving one of them back to Just Mikey, but still a 10 position increase in his race, and Just Mikey a 9 position increase. So they're the 2 competitors for driver of the day, I think.
Definitely is, and this will be all obviously voted in the chat later on. And there we go. There he is, Farfborough celebrating on the podium, not waiting for the other guys to come out, and he's all happy. Car number 15 in the Red Bull is sporting a lot of dirt as he's celebrating very well. All British podium. I tell you what, when's the last time you saw an all British podium in Formula 1? I think, what, the 1960s?
Probably around there.
Still a brilliant lap. A brilliant race, as we saw all the drivers sporting many different races this way. And obviously from a wet qualifying session, there he is, Farfborough, with 10 seconds worth, or 9 seconds worth of penalties after flying away from the start. A brilliant job ahead of Smelly Badger in P2. Icebot in P3 and Lienel in P4 after finishing P3 on the road. Diaboosh in P5 and Mikey in P6. Invader Zippo in P7 and T. Jonas in P8, championship leader, just happy to get points on the board. Gaming Things in P9 ahead of the Devil's Armpit, who scores his first points in SpeedForce Racing in P10. Pasley in P11 ahead of Sigard in P12 and Bow Power in P13. The non-finishers were Alsand, Blood and Sands, Matey Boy dramatically, Blazmat, Spark Bobster and Billy. Billy who was disqualified. So, all in all, a brilliant race.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. A lot of close racing there and a lot of kind of queues battles going on. So like 4 or 5 cars in a row. All wanting to vie for the same position.
Well, this has been a brilliant time in Montreal this week, sorry, not weekend, I'll do that later. This week in Montreal, we've had a good time with Sue Farfborough claiming first prize for the first time in a while. He gets a win. Next week, we'll be heading to one of my favourite circuits in Formula 1, France. And I can't wait to go back to that circuit. I genuinely love that circuit. AJ, thoughts on France?
Yeah, I'm still getting used to it at the minute. It'll take a lot of practice before I'm kind of embedded into the track. Yeah, no, it's a really nice sweeping corners, and there's a lot of lap time to be gained and a lot of lap time to be lost there. But it'll be interesting to see what the drivers and Gp2 make of it next week.
It definitely will be. So I'm going to leave everyone to it and obviously get ready for the premiere race, which will be happening in well, about 5-10 minutes after this race, after this event and stream have finished. Here we go. We're going to have a little poke at the French track. If you don't know about it, there it is. AJ is the first winner of that race in the other league I commentate on. Aren't you happy, AJ? I guess I should untie you now so you can get down to your car.
It was on my birthday that I won that race as well. No, wow. I was very happy that day.
He's always happy when it comes to his birthday. So anyway, tonight was Canada, next week is France. So it's good night from me, and thank you, AJ, for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks, man.
Yeah, where's my penknife so I can untie you? But first, let's turn off the stream. If you're not joining us for premiere, I'll see you next week. If you are joining us for premiere, I'll see you in a few. See you later, guys.